This is Chunk-A-Dor, my Falador locked one chunk Iron Man account. His mission? To complete chunk tasks and make his way across Gillinor, one tile at a time.
So unless you've been living under a rock crab for the last 4 or 5 years, you probably know what a one chunk account is at this point. But for the few uneducated people out there, it's a game mode where you have to unlock 64 by 64 tiles of the map, or chunks, by completing everything there is to do in the area. You've probably seen the likes of Canifus Chunk and Yanil Chunk who run extreme one chunk rules, but I'm not full time with YouTube like them, which means I'm only going to be doing a vanilla rule set, with the max item source rarity being 1 in 16 for processing materials. Excluding collection log slots of course, which I will be hunting, including pets.
So here we are in the Chunk Picker, and this is made by the wonderful Source Chunk, so big thanks to him, and it's going to be the guiding force in our journey across Gillinor. Dead centre you can see our starting chunk, Falador West, and on the right hand side you can see our active chunk tasks, and that's going to be everything we need to do in this chunk to move on to the next role. So combat wise, we need to get 30 attack to wield an adamant weapon, and that's going to be the mace from Flynn's Mace Store, and we need to obtain an iron square shield, and a wooden shield from Cassie's shield shop for our ranged and magic best in slot, respectively. For our skill and tasks, we need to get level 15 in both wood cutting and fire making, so we can chop and burn an oak log, which shouldn't be too difficult at all, and we need to cook a chicken, which is a 1 in 16 drop from imps, which can spawn and roam into our chunk, which may well end up being the hardest part of this chunk. And we also need to get 40 thieving to pickpocket a guard, and that's going to take a while because the only trainer method we have in our chunk is a drunken man in the Rising Sun Inn chunk. We also have a few diary steps to do, but which are nice and simple. We just need to get a haircut from the Falador hairdresser, fill a bucket from the pump north of Falador West Bank, which is just outside the hairdressers, and kill a duck in Falador Park. Should be simple enough, right? Well, with that out of the way, let's jump back into the game and start ticking off some chunk tasks. Now, I think the first thing to start off with should probably be turning this music down. There we go. And I think what we're going to do is, I'll just show you around the chunk a little tiny bit. So this is the... Oh, what on earth is the name of this pub? Let's find out. Not a clue. Sure, we'll find out at some point. Or I might put it on the screen now. And we're going to head upstairs and we're going to start pickpocketing this drunken man just for a bit of starter GP. And of course, we're immediately going to fail. And I've just turned on menu entry swapper there so we can swap the left click to pickpocket, make life a little bit easier. And it's already going very well for us here. That's 3 in a row, what the hell, man? There we go, we've made some money. First cash on the account, a massive 3 GP. Now, I did work this out on a calculator last night. I need to do something like 8,000 of these. So this is going to be a long road. I'm probably going to do this till I get to like level 2 or 3 thieving, or until I run out of health. And then we're going to move on to probably trying to find some food so that we can do this for a bit longer at a time. And there's level 2 thieving, and we're already down to 3 hit points, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to run away from here. Now, I did just spy out of the corner of the screen that it looks like there is a cooked chicken spawn upstairs in this house. There is, fantastic, so we're going to take that, and I think we're just going to hot worlds until we've filled up our inventory with chicken. I think I am going to go and do a little bit of wood cutting, because I've got bits and pieces to be getting on with today, so I can nicely just sit in AFK that. And do we have the... Yeah, we do. We have the level to wield that, so that saves us a nice inventory slot. Now, I'm going to take a couple of GP out, and I'm going to go and buy a tinderbox, and we're going to fire make, I think, as we would cut, to get both those skills leveled towards the level 15 that we need for
the chunk tasks. So I will get back to you with any progress. And there's level 2 woodcutting, level 3 woodcutting, level 4 woodcutting, level 5 woodcutting, there's level 6 woodcutting, and with that 3 we get level 7 woodcutting, and with that one our first full inventory of logs. So let's go and start some fire making. And it's taken some time, but there we go, the first logs lit on this account, followed very swiftly by level 2 fire making, he says. There we go, and there it is, level 2 fire making. We're just going to burn through this inventory, I think, and I'll let you know what we get to. So I took a little break to do some family stuff, and so I was jumping on a mobile as and when. Managed to grab, another inventory of chickens or so. So we've banked those logs, but I think we were not very far away from. Should be level 12 fire making, I think. There it is. So I'm going to finish burning off this set of logs. And I can now burn oil lamps. Fantastic. I'm going to finish burning off this set of logs. Hopefully that should put us pretty close to that 15 goal. And then I think tonight, while I'm just chilling with the missus, I'm going to do some more thieving on mobile and get through some of those chickens. So I'll grab a new clip in the morning and let you know how I get on. So it's the next morning, and I think the plan for today is just going to be cracking on with a bit of thieving and a bit more woodcutting and fire making to try and get some chunk tasks ticked off. And with that log we've hit level 15, which lets us burn oak logs. So now all we need to do is get the matching woodcutting level, and we can tick off 2 of our skilling tasks for this chunk. So that's what I'm going to do now.
And that's going to be 15 wood cutting, which means we can now finally chop our oak tree and burn that log, taking off 2 chunk tasks straight away. After this, I think we're going to go and pick up all our maces and shields in preparation for the combat training. So to kick off our combat training, I'm going to start by buying all the maces available in Flynn's shop here, and then we're going to go over and grab a shield from Cassie's to bump our defense up a touch. Now, when we've got that equipped, I'm going to go and slap the daylights out of the drunken man for an hour or so, and we'll see what that gets us to. Now before we head off to get started, I want to knock out some of my diary tasks for this chunk. So we're going to fill a bucket at this pump and grab a quick trim from the barbers. And I've got this raw chicken from an imp, so we're going to try and get that cooked too. Hopefully we don't burn it at level 1. And we burn it. I'll have to keep an eye out for more imps to try and get another drop. It's only a 1 in 16 I think, so hopefully it shouldn't take too long. So I've been training both attack and strength a little bit to try and get a higher max hit, and in the middle of it I got a maze random event. Didn't get anything too amazing from it, but it's nice to see the random events coming in. They might be able to give us some good supplies in the early game to help us with magic and our ranged. One thing worth noting is that this man can actually roll the herb drop table, which is pretty useless for us right now, but the road to level 30 attack is going to get us quite a lot of variety in the herbs that we can get. So once we complete Druidic Ritual and we unlock Herb Lore, we've got quite a few herbs we can clean and hopefully find the secondaries for to get some nice early levels in that skill. So the clips you saw, I managed to gather earlier on while I was just chilling with the kids, and I'm gonna just walk through where we're at right now. We're at 8 attack, 6 strength, and a whopping 12 hit points. Obviously, we've completed the fire making and wood cutting tasks, and we're up to a massive 3 prayer. We're at 24 thieving at the minute. I had to take a little break from that because it was driving me a little bit nuts just doing the same thing over and over again, and we were starting to run out of food, and I wanted to keep some of that for combat training. So at some point I'm going to have to go back to my world hopping. But I think now might be a good time. No, we still need a mind runes, some air runes for that. Now might be a good time to try and figure out how we're going to kill that duck. So if I just take a quick look at the drop table for a man, then I'm pretty sure they drop both mind and air runes. Oh, they drop mind runes but not air runes. So we're going to have to find a way of getting air runes, or some sort of bow, which I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do. Can I just attack it at the water side here? If it swims into the right place? Hey, there we go. Okay. And that is our task completed and a massive level 9 as well, which is fantastic. Well, which brings us up to a nice total level of 100. So that's always nice to see. Big total levels coming in. So let's go and tick that off the chunk picker. So there we go, and I've also gone ahead and ticked off all the other tasks we've completed so far. Now I was doing a little bit of looking into it, and apparently you don't need any requirements for wearing a an iron square shield, sorry. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy one of those right now, and we can tick off another task. Let's just tick that off right now. So we've got a bit of GP there from killing the drunk man upstairs. So let's go and trade Cassie. And let's see, iron square shield costs 168 coins. Absolutely, we'll pick that up. Oh, there we go, and we can wield it straight away. So that is our new best in slot melee shield. And we're currently wearing our iron dagger that we got from the drunken man as well, along with the bronze med helm that's also on his drop table. So we're looking pretty stacked right now. It's you know, let's just for giggles see if we can take down a guard, or if we get our butts handed to us. It looks like he's going to regen health faster than we can deal it. No, I'm not too worried about taking damage because, as you'll have already seen, we've lost the hardcore status. It was a little bit embarrassing, but you know, we'll get over it. It was never intended to be permanent, so it's not too sad.
I will remember you.
Yeah, I think we're going to leave him alone until we're a little bit higher combat level. Definitely need to get a few strength levels to increase our max hit so we can out DPS him. But this is what the bank's looking like at the moment. It's mostly just loot from killing the man. But there's a couple of useful bits and pieces in here. We've got a couple of fire runes. It's going to come useful eventually. Chaos runes, when we got the magic levels, use them. Never ever say no to them. Pop a bucket of water away. And we won't ever need that bronze mace again, or the iron mace for that matter. We're up to steel now, which is better crush damage and also melee strength. So let's give that a go. See if we can get a higher max hit than 2, which is what our current best is with the iron dagger. So we'll head up here and we'll try and kill one of those men. In fact, let's try one of the guards again. Oh, massive 2 max hit. I'm sort of getting spanked a little bit. Yeah, I think without going through a full inventory of food, that's not possible. So, with that not possible, I think we're going to go and pick up some more food, and I will get back to you when I've hopefully got, 200 cooked chickens or something, or whatever it is at the point where I get sick and tired of it. Yeah, this is the method. We just hop until we drop. So we are back with, I think, my 3rd inventory of chickens, and truth be told, I'm getting a bit sick of picking up chickens, so I think I'm gonna grab them back out the bank actually, and I am gonna go and kill the man again until we can start hitting the guards for a decent amount. I think this is probably going to be our best training method, so I'm just going to work through these. So after a night of playing on my phone in bed, I think it's a good place to end this episode. We're finishing up with 15 attack and HP, 12 in strength, and 6 prayer, which is going surprisingly quickly, 24 thieving, and 15 in both woodcutting and firemaking. I'll probably grind out the attack levels some more on mobile while I edit this episode, so we should be pretty close to our goal of 30 by the time we start the next episode, so hopefully we won't be too far away from rolling our next chunk. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to follow the progress of the Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to follow the progress of the series, and a like would be greatly appreciated by our algorithmic overlords. Until next time, Chunk-A-Dor out.